Once upon a time, in a beautiful place called Rainbow Forest, there lived a little pig named Dudu. With his rosy pink skin, round little belly, and shiny black eyes that always sparkled with curiosity, Dudu was a special little pig. The most unique thing about him was a tiny heart-shaped birthmark on his left ear, which the old goat of the forest often said was a mark of kindness bestowed by the heavens. Every morning, as the first rays of sunlight peeked through the gaps in the oak leaves, Dudu would wake up in his cozy straw hut. His little house was nestled beside a giant oak tree, its roof thatched with golden hay and walls built from smooth river stones. A wind chime hung by the door, a birthday gift from the little rabbit the previous winter, that tinkled melodiously in the breeze, as if singing a cheerful morning song. Dudu's first task after waking was to wash his face in the nearby stream. He would dip his little pink hooves into the clear water, watching his reflection make funny faces. The cold water always woke him right up. Then, he would visit his best friend, a hedgehog named Dottie, who was always up earlier than him, gathering wild berries glistening with morning dew for breakfast. "Good morning, Dottie." Dudu would greet her in his bright, bell-like voice. "Where should we go exploring today?" Dottie would push up her round glasses, crafted from spider silk and transparent fish scales, and think for a moment before replying, "I heard there are glowing mushrooms growing in Mushroom Grove. Should we go take a look?" And so, the two friends would set off on their daily adventures. Rainbow Forest was always full of wonders waiting to be discovered. Sometimes they would meet baby birds practicing their flying, other times they would help ant families gather food for winter, and sometimes they would simply lie on a hillside covered in wildflowers, watching the clouds shift shapes in the blue sky. But what Dudu loved most was rolling around in mud puddles. In the western part of the forest, there was a patch of soft black soil that formed perfect mud pits after rain. Dudu would carefully test the mud's temperature with his hooves before, splash, jumping right in, rolling around joyfully. The cool mud coating his body made him giggle uncontrollably. Dottie never understood this hobby, always standing at a safe distance to avoid getting her carefully groomed spines dirty. "Why do you love mud so much?" Dottie once asked, watching the now completely blackened Dudu climb out of the pit. Dudu shook off the mud droplets and cheerfully replied, "Because mud makes me feel free. And when it dries, I become an armored warrior." He struck a dramatic warrior pose, only to slip and fall right back into the puddle, sending both friends into fits of laughter. These happy days continued until one fateful morning. That day, as Dudu went to wash his face in the stream as usual, he found the water murky and foul-smelling. Strange black particles floated on the surface, and the reeds along the bank drooped lifelessly. "Dottie! Come quick!" Dudu called anxiously. "The stream is sick." Dottie rushed over and scooped up some water with a large leaf, her tiny glasses magnifying her worried frown. "This isn't ordinary pollution. There's a strange magical presence in the water." Just then, the oldest and wisest tree in the forest sent a message through the rustling leaves. All animals were to gather beneath the great oak immediately. When Dudu and Dottie arrived, the entire forest community was already assembled. The old goat stroked his long white beard, the owl perched on a low branch, the rabbit family huddled together, and even the usually solitary fox wore a concerned expression. The wise old tree's deep voice echoed through the air. "Children, the ancient prophecy is coming true. The dark wizard's curse has returned to Rainbow Forest." A murmur of fear spread through the crowd. Dudu stepped forward bravely, his heart-shaped birthmark glowing faintly in the sunlight. "Grandfather Tree, please tell us how we can save the forest." The tree's branches swayed gently. Long ago, when the Dark Wizard first cursed our forest, it was the legendary Pig of Light who broke the curse with the magic of love. Now, we need a new hero to find 3 magical artifacts scattered across the land: the pure crystal, the seed of life, and the flame of courage. Only by placing these 3 treasures on the sacred altar at the forest's heart can we dispel the darkness once more. The animals looked at each other uncertainly. Who would dare embark on such a perilous journey? Dudu gazed at the polluted stream, then at his worried friends, and took a deep breath. "I'll go." Dottie immediately grabbed his hoof. "It's too dangerous. There are swamp monsters, the misty woods, and magic winds that can make you lose your way." Dudu patted his friend's shoulder. "But I have the smartest hedgehog in the world as my guide. And..." He touched his birthmark. "Maybe I really am descended from the Pig of Light." And so, with blessings from the entire forest, Dudu set off on his quest with a backpack full of food and herbs, and Dottie's enchanted map. Before leaving, the old goat gave him a glowing mushroom to ward off darkness, the rabbit family wove him a dandelion scarf for protection, and the owl gifted him a silver feather to summon help in times of need. Their first destination was the Crystal Cave in the north, where the pure crystal was said to be hidden. The journey proved more challenging than expected. They had to cross the shifting swamp, where seemingly solid ground could suddenly give way. Fortunately, Dudu's expertise with mud helped him sense safe paths. "Jump this way," Dudu directed. "The grass is slightly darker there, the ground is firm underneath." Dottie adjusted her glasses nervously. "Are you sure?" "I can't swim." "Trust me." Dudu grinned. "I'm a mud expert." Just as they neared the swamp's edge, a massive swamp monster rose from the muck, a towering figure of rotting branches and foul sludge, with glowing green eyes in its hollow face. "Who disturbs my slumber?" it groaned, mud dripping from its gaping mouth. Though trembling, Dudu stepped protectively in front of Dottie. "Honorable Swamp Guardian, we mean no harm. We seek the pure crystal to save Rainbow Forest." The creature tilted its wooden head. "Rainbow Forest? That cursed place?" It suddenly became agitated. "The wizard did this to me." Understanding dawned on Dudu. The monster was another victim. He approached carefully. "If we break the curse, maybe you can be restored too. Please let us pass." After a long silence, the monster began sinking back into the muck. "Pass, you may, but first, solve my riddle." It drew a strange symbol in the mud. "What grows when shared?" Dottie whispered, "Disease," but Dudu smiled. "Happiness. When you share happiness, it doesn't decrease, it multiplies." The monster gurgled what might have been laughter and cleared a path. "Wise little pig, proceed, but beware, the cave's guardian." Beyond the swamp stood the crystal mountain, its translucent surface shimmering with rainbow hues. But the entrance was sealed by thick ice. Dottie consulted her map. "The records say only the fire of sincerity can melt this door." "But what's the fire of sincerity?" Dudu puzzled. Just then, a shivering swallow fell from the sky. Dudu quickly wrapped her in his scarf while Dottie brewed ginger tea. Reviving, the swallow gasped, "Thank you. I was flying south, but the dark magic disrupted the seasons." Suddenly Dudu understood. "Dottie, maybe the fire isn't literal, maybe it's warmth from the heart." He gave the swallow both his scarf and the tea. Miraculously, golden light burst from the swallow, melting the ice. The bird transformed into a radiant spirit. "I am the spirit of sincerity." Your selflessness has passed the test. Enter, but remember, the cave's mirrors show one's truest self. Inside, the crystal cave was more magnificent than imagined, its walls embedded with countless glowing crystals like a starry sky. At the center stood a heart-shaped crystal on a pedestal. But as they approached, mirrors appeared, each reflecting a different Dudu, proud, angry, fearful. A voice echoed, "Only your true self may claim the pure crystal." Confused, Dudu asked, "Which one is the real me?" Dottie suggested, "Maybe, all of them. We contain multitudes." Dudu's eyes lit up. "I'm brave sometimes and scared others, happy or sad, all are real. What matters is which me I choose to be." Accepting all his reflections, he grasped the crystal, which glowed warmly in his hooves. One treasure down, but their quest continued. Eastward lay the tree of life and the seed of life. Their path took them through the memory maze, a shifting forest where trees moved and memory-stealing sprites lurked in the mist. Dudu fashioned earplugs from mud, as Dottie said the sprites used sound, and marked their path with glowing mushroom powder. But as the fog thickened, even the marks disappeared. "We're lost," Dottie admitted, her glasses fogged up. Then Dudu heard faint crying. Following it, they found a butterfly trapped in a spiderweb, her wings heavy with dew. "Help me," she pleaded weakly. After freeing and healing her, the grateful butterfly revealed herself as the maze's guide, punished for refusing to serve the dark wizard. She led them safely to the tree of life, a colossal meadow-like tree with golden leaves and silver fruit, yet lifeless, its bark split to reveal an ancient face. "Seekers of the seed, what is life?" Dudu pondered. "Life is growth, change, like flowing streams and flying birds." "Closer," said the tree, "but not enough." Dottie tried. "Life is feeling joy and pain." "Warmer, yet incomplete." Then Dudu noticed a wilting wildflower in his hoof. "Life is precious because it ends. Without loss, we wouldn't cherish moments. The meaning is in its finiteness." The tree trembled, its leaves chiming. "Well said, little piggy." A glowing green seed descended. "This seed holds life's essence. Guard it well, in evil hands, it brings decay." With two treasures secured, only the flame of courage remained, guarded by a dragon in the southern volcano. Their journey grew perilous as the dark wizard sent shadow creatures after them. One night, as shadows breached their protective circle, Dudu remembered the owl's feather. "We need the light of courage," he cried. The feather transformed into a swarm of fireflies that repelled the shadows and escorted them to Fire Mountain. The active volcano's heat was oppressive, its slopes treacherous with sharp rocks. Both friends suffered burns and blisters but pressed on until, there, a massive red dragon circled above. It landed before them, shaking the earth. "Why disturb my slumber, little morsels?" Dudu stood tall. "Mighty dragon, we need your flame of courage to save our home from the dark wizard." The dragon snorted smoke. "That pest! He once tried stealing my fire. Why should I help you?" Dottie offered the seed, but the dragon laughed. "I want no seed. Bored after centuries here, I'll trade the flame for a story I've never heard." So Dudu told their story, of mud-loving pigs and worrywart hedgehogs, of friendship overcoming fears. To their astonishment, molten tears welled in the dragon's eyes, turning to steam as they fell. "Enough," it rumbled. "Countless sought my flame for greed, you're the first who came for love." Plucking a burning scale from its chest, it said, "This flame won't fade, for true courage comes from the heart." Returning to Rainbow Forest, they found it nearly dead, trees withered, stream dry, animals listless. To the altar, whispered the dying grandfather tree. At the forest's heart, they placed the artifacts on a rune-covered stone. As light erupted skyward, the dark wizard appeared, screaming, "Stop!" But the beam shattered his curse. Rain fell, plants revived, waters cleared, even the swamp monster transformed back into a lost woodcutter. The forest flourished brighter than ever. Though now heroes, Dudu still rolled in mud, and Dottie still studied her books. But all understood now, true magic lies in courage, wisdom, and love. On full moons, the three treasures glow softly at the forest's center, reminding all of the great adventure. And Dudu's heart-shaped birthmark became Rainbow Forest's most beloved symbol, a mark of love's enduring power. Do you still like today's story? If you like, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the like icon. You can receive notifications and hear the latest stories as soon as possible. Good night, my baby.